Hey, welcome to the garage. Today we're going to be making something special for whoever you want to give a good special gift to. We're making a cutting board. This is made from scrap wood, just like this. This was my test piece I made to show you all. We'll be making a inlay. We'll be gluing all these pieces together, and we'll be taking all the wood that looks like this and turning it into that cutting board. So, first things first, we're going to take our wood and we're going to kind of find a design that we like. Alright, so now we're going to take it to the table saw. At the table saw, we're going to make sure that each piece has the same width. This is going to make it easier when we're putting it together and gluing it up. When you're finding what width you want to cut them to, take the smallest measurement of your boards and use that as the width. Mine was about 2 1/4, 2 1/8, and so I chose 2 inches total to rip all the boards to. When you're ripping on the table saw, make sure all of your pressure goes to the side and you're paying attention to the board being flat along this edge. You don't really need to pay attention to the blade. The blade's going to do its thing. And before we start getting cutting, always remember, put any long hair and any strings up inside yourself, and so you don't have anything dangling down that can get caught in the saw blades, and then always put on your safety glasses. Let's get to cutting. A bit of a hiccup. I got COVID, so now I'm going to have to finish filming this without my partner, and then they will edit it. The next step that we're going to do is, after we've taken on the table saw and we have ripped all the sides and straightened all the sides, we're going to check that our miter saw is at a 90-degree angle, and we're going to then cut all the ends of the pieces to a 90-degree angle so that everything will come together nicely. After that, we'll bring it over back to the table and rearrange pieces the way we might like them. Alright, now we're going to sand each of these edges to get rid of the unevenness and make sure that each piece is going to fit together evenly and there won't be any gaps in the cutting board when we put it together. Alright, once all your pieces are square, maybe double check them with a right angle like this one or whatever you got. And so now we're going to take it back to the table and we're going to arrange the pieces the way we might like it. So there's a couple options you can do to glue this up. I'm going to do it where I glue the entire thing at a time. So I need to make sure there is enough pressure on all sides going this way and all sides going this way. Alright, so we're back and we have a dry cutting board. During this process, it might be a good idea to wipe off the glue, but that's okay. So let's take off all our clamps, see how it looks, and we'll start surfacing it. I'm going to use this planer to get all the edges all the same and make it nice and smooth and flat, and then I'll start sanding it. So we're gonna bring it back to the table saw, and we're just gonna make sure all these sides are flat, and then we're gonna cut off these end pieces so it's a square piece. Alright, so we've made a cutting board. The next final step after you sand everything, you got your final coat, you raise the grain, is to put a finish on it. I'm going to use this Watco Butcher Block. It's basically just mineral oil. It's a few different oils. So we'll just apply one coat of this, let it sit for around 12-24 hours, let it really soak in, and then we'll sand it with 400 grain paper and put another coat, maybe a third coat on. I'm gonna end up probably redoing this a little bit and resanding a little bit as I maybe get some wood putty and fill the gaps that I messed up on. But overall, this turned out pretty good. I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching. Cool. Or the miter saw. I don't know. God, I'm giving up. I'm giving